Hello lovely witchlings, and welcome to my Litha video on country today. I am hiking to the top of a mountain to symbolize finally reaching Litha, the highest point on the wheel of the year. This last stretch before Litha in my personal goal setting is just like this walk. It's hot, I feel tired, but I can see the top and I am determined to push my personal goal to its peak growth, to the top of the mountain. Throughout this pilgrimage, I focused on my goal, feeling gratitude for all of the progress I have made so far, and celebrating this last point of striving before shifting my energy at Litha to receiving. I am underneath this beautiful magic tree, this magic eucalyptus tree that I feel is really protecting me right now, so I'm super grateful. Let's get into it. Litha is a cardinal summer solstice festival, and it marks the height and the peak of the wheel of the year at the very top. It falls on December 20th to 22nd in the southern hemisphere and the 20th to the 22nd of June in the northern hemisphere. Litha celebrates the sun's peak strength in nature, and the sun really gives us good fortune and so much abundance in the natural world. Because we are at the very top of the wheel, we are the highest that we will get in the year, and so it's a time when we are the closest we can get to spiritual energies. So any communication with deities or communication with spiritual energies in general should be easier and come more naturally at this time. It is also a time for lots of magic work, divination, spell work. Obviously, we are witches, so we will do all of that at all times, but magic really is Litha's domain. Litha also corresponds with the full moon phase. Both of these really are about illumination, revelation, receiving information from spirit. There's a very loud cicada somewhere. Litha is a time where we must open ourselves to receive abundance, manifestation, success, but also it's a time to open to receive new information from spirit and open ourselves up to being moved, being changed, and being shifted in our own perspective. Litha is the longest day of the year, and it is a really powerful point when the year shifts from waxing energy, which is growing, striving, pushing upwards, upward momentum, but the year is shifting now from Litha onwards to waning, which is opening up to receive what you have been calling in, receiving your harvest. And after the harvest, it is about banishing, releasing what no longer serves you, all the way down to the lowest point on the wheel, which is the winter solstice. So your Litha intention work should reflect that energy shift from waxing to waning, and two actions are really required or needed at this point. So the first one being releasing of all momentum to spirit, giving that momentum over to spirit and letting go of it. Number two is opening yourself up to receive. So your intention and your goal has grown as much as it can. You have pushed your growth as far as you can in your own personal goal or manifestation. It's time to push that momentum, push that energy up and give it to spirit, really, letting it go in full trust that you will receive whatever it is that you have been working towards in the harvest season. And so from this point on, we are letting go and we are opening as much as we can to receive. Because now from Litha down the wheel, we are going downhill, right? So it's really more about flowing. It's a lot easier. There's not as much efforting that is going into your movement downwards. So you really just want to start flowing downwards and opening up to receiving in that process. At Litha, money really does grow on trees. At least I am manifesting it to be so. For my money bowl spell, I am using coins and citrine for wealth, calendula for optimism, coffee for energy, rice for abundance, mugwort and blue lotus flower for magic, sand for abundance, sunflowers to represent the sun, and of course a gold spell candle and bowl as well. You can choose whatever ingredients you'd like to use, and you may choose to keep this spell a bit more simple, but that's up to you. I'm doing a smoke cleanse and casting my circle to begin my spell. I did make a mistake in the beginning and I went ahead and added my ingredients to my bowl, but I recommend melting the bottom of your gold spell candle and securing it to the bottom of the bowl before you add anything else, as my candle did fall over a few times because it wasn't secured enough. So I had to go back and secure it later on. Make sure that your candle is completely stuck to the bowl before you light it for safety reasons. Let's learn from my mistakes for sure. So while I'm adding in each ingredient to my bowl, I focus my mind on feeling immense gratitude for all of the money and abundance that I will and already have received in my life. Make sure that you're actually really feeling the energy of excitement, the joy, the freedom of all of that abundance. Imagining what you might want to use your money for. Visualize money strongly flowing, tripling, and streaming effortlessly into your life without you needing to really go out and search for it. Imagine yourself fully opening yourself up to receiving this abundance and welcoming it into your life with gratitude. So write a letter to Spirit and express how grateful and thankful you are for all of this abundance and success in your life, and try and feel as much trust and faith in receiving it as you possibly can. When you're ready to activate your spell, you can add your letter to your bowl and light your candle. You can light your candle and add more coins to the bowl each day to build this abundant energy in your space and therefore attract it into your life. Anything else that you come across in nature maybe that you feel represents abundance, you can feed it to your bowl for the entire period between Litha and Mabon. Remember not to look for results until the harvest season, because Litha is about releasing and letting go in trust rather than seeing results in the material world just yet. Litha is the most powerful fire festival, and since I live on fire country here in Australia, it is so important for me to honour and respect the Indigenous people of this land and their ancient and deep wisdom about the element of fire. My witchcraft practice is based in my own Celtic ancestral traditions, but it's so important to understand that some of those traditions really are not appropriate on fire country. There's a few ancient Celtic traditions that point towards bonfires on the top of hills and setting a big wooden wheel on fire and rolling it down a hillside, which sure, that's appropriate somewhere else, but it's really not appropriate here. The Indigenous people of this land know how to use fire skillfully in very controlled and intentional ways, and burnt the land regularly for the health and safety of the land's people, its plants, its agriculture, its animals. This country is prone to dangerous wildfires when not taken care of properly, and wildfires were not common at all before European arrival here, which is just such a testament to how well maintained this land really was in Indigenous hands. There is a great need to listen to, learn from, and deeply respect the Indigenous people of this land and their practices, because this is their land and this will always be their land, and they know it deeply and profoundly. I personally have learnt from Indigenous stories that fire must be treated with utmost respect. It is a powerful technology that can and has the ability to transform this specific landscape. As part of my own personal Litha practices, I will be giving thanks to the Indigenous ancestors of this land for holding and cultivating this powerful, powerful wisdom. My learning is ongoing and I am definitely no expert. Bruce Pascoe's book Dark Emu and also Bill Gammage's The Biggest Estate on Earth, both of those books have really transformed and deepened my understanding of this land and how I see and relate to it as well. It is my understanding that ancient earth-based religions, such as my own pagan witchcraft practice, must incorporate deep respect and honor for Indigenous wisdom, knowledge, and practices. And this really is an ongoing commitment that I am making in my own personal practice.
At Litha, weaving a god's eye is an intentional and magical activity to help you manifest your harvest and to serve as a talisman for you to push the last of your intention work into. Weaving or spinning wool creates something new from intentionally weaving threads together. You create your reality through the threads that you repetitively weave in your life, and Litha is a time to wind up and tie off all of your striving and intention work from the past waxing half of the year. You want to pour your hopes, goals, and gratitude into both your crystal and a written letter, focusing on what you'd actually like to receive in the harvest season between now and Samhain. Form a cross with the 2 sticks and secure your letter to the center by winding the yarn around it a few times. At the heart of the god's eye, the 2 sticks form the cardinal cross, symbolizing the solstice and equinox points on the wheel of the year. The still point in the center of the cross symbolizes spirit. So by embedding your hope at the center of this God's Eye cross, you are handing it over to spirit in trust that you will receive. To begin the weaving, you want to wind the yarn over and around each stick. So as you can see, I'm moving and going over and around, moving the cross around, and then going over the stick and around it again. While you weave, continue to focus your mind on your manifestation coming in, flowing into your life during the harvest season. In ancient times, people used needlework for magical purposes, like embroidering signs, symbols, and protective sigils into their clothing, which links textile work with magical intention work. To change the color of your yarn, cut the color that you are using and then tie your next color onto the end and continue to weave. When you've finished, tie the end of the yarn to the weaved yarn. Keep your God's Eye on your altar up until next Samhain. At that Samhain, you want to unravel the weaving and let go of it as part of your release work, whether you've received your intention or not. I didn't have much space on my altar, so I hung mine up outside in the tree for now, and I'll probably move it in later.
Thank you so much for watching this Litha video, witches. I really hope that you gained some new insight or some new knowledge. I hope you have a really blessed Litha and a blessed harvest, and yeah, I will see you next time. Bye.